first to call for a boycott back in February. Florida Republican Congressman Michael Waltz, former Green Beret commander, served in Afghanistan and a colonel in the National Guard. Always good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Martha.
So one of the things that Jackie just said, reporting that story, she said there's not much movement. How is this going?
Well, actually, we're gaining momentum. Former Speaker Newt Gingrich has called for this boycott, Nikki Haley, Mike Pompeo. I am happy to see Speaker Pelosi tiptoe in that direction, but I have to be honest with you, some heads of state not showing up is not enough. What I'm focused on are the millions and millions that these woke American corporations that, as you said, are willing to boycott the lie that is Georgia voting suppression, in their words, are donating millions to social justice, but are absolutely turning a blind eye when it comes to modern day slavery. These people are being loaded into rail cars, their heads shaved, sent into slave labor. The women, Martha, are parsed out into medical facilities with forced sterilization campaigns, forced abortions. The Chinese government is seeking to wipe out an entire population. And if we look at the history here, we look at where South Africa, because of apartheid, was banned by the IOC from the games for decades. You look at where Russia was banned from participating in the games for having doping. Not only should we move the games, which we've been asking for, I don't think China should be allowed to participate in the games, and they should be banned as well. If Russia can get banned for doping, exterminating millions and millions of Muslim Uighurs, to me, are grounds for not only the games to be held there, but for them to be moved.
I mean, it's extraordinary to think about those two parallel images, you know, because they do this big show, right, on opening ceremonies and everything, and then you've got 2 million people being held against their will in camps. And I would encourage people to look at some of the pictures online of the conditions that they're living in, some of which you just mentioned. Here's Michaela Schifrin. We'd all love to see her win a gold medal and ski in these Olympics. Here's what she had to say about it.
The Olympics is big, and it's something that you shoot for, and you don't want to miss it. And you certainly don't want to be put in the position of having to choose between human rights, like morality, versus being able to do your job, which on the other hand can bring light to some issues, or can actually bring hope to the world at a very difficult time.
What would you say to her and to all of our really hardworking and hard training athletes?
I would tell them to call and write and reach out to the IOC, who's put them in this position, making them choose. This isn't geopolitics or politics. This is basic human values. And the IOC is forcing our athletes to choose between those basic human rights and their ability to compete. There's no reason these games should be held in Beijing. They violated all of their promises since 2008. The games can be moved and our athletes can compete. But Martha, there is a national security and geopolitical aspect to this. We all know what Germany did after they received the international legitimacy and spotlight in the 1936 games. Russia invaded Crimea after the 2014 games. We've seen what China's done after the world turned a blind eye to their abuses in Tibet and otherwise. I fear for Taiwan next. Xi is personally involved in planning these games, the propaganda pieces of it, and if athletes think they can go there and just protest, I think they're underestimating the propaganda machine that is the Chinese Communist Party. They will squash that protest in a heartbeat.
Not to mention the growing investigation into what happened in the lab, which is gaining more steam as well. Right. And we'll talk about that more next time.
Not to mention the 2 million dead around the world and counting because of the Chinese Communist Party. That's right.
Thank you very much, Congressman Michael Waltz from Florida. Always good to see you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Martha.